It's time for business news with Richard Southern. And Richard, this is kind of like the adult version of being called into the principal's office. The head of Canada's largest grocery chains have been summoned to Ottawa.
Yeah, they're like, you can't handle the truth. It was quite the grilling, Eric. I was watching it just a few minutes ago. It got underway late. So, yeah, the heads of Canada's big three grocers getting grilled by MPs in Ottawa over just why our grocery bills have gone so high over the past 3 years. And what did they do? They defended their position. They said, hey, it really doesn't have anything to do with us. They blamed supply chain issues. They said inflation is not unique to Canada. Michael Midline, the CEO of Empire, in his opening statement, said an unprofitable grocery business, he said, is not better for Canada. He said, like all Canadians, we're looking forward to the end of inflation. Galen Weston, the president of Loblaws, claimed that Loblaws is fighting inflation, he said, by stopping what he called unjustified price hikes by suppliers. He also said that the surging profits at Loblaws is due to pharmaceuticals, not food. Remember, the company owns Shoppers Drug Mart. Some experts, Erica, like food professor Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, think the CEOs are appearing today because the government may be ready to act.
I think they're concerned that some changes would absolutely make them more vulnerable, and they'll be forced to be more transparent. They're showing up right now because I actually think they're concerned about some potential changes to the Competition Act.
Yeah, they could be forced to maybe open up their books a little bit more and tell us exactly where they're earning their money, Erica. Food inflation was up 11.4% year on year in February.
All right, and a lot of people were keeping their eye on this story today, and now those who hold variable rate mortgages are breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and they need it. It's been a tough ride. If you have a variable rate mortgage, Eric, almost every month you were paying more. But Bank of Canada today didn't move on interest rates. It held them steady at 4.5%, pausing its year-long campaign of 8 rate hikes in a row. This is actually the first major global central bank to take a pause in this rate hike cycle. Your prime lending rate remains at 6.7%. The Bank of Canada, though, did leave the door open to further rate hikes if inflation doesn't slow as quickly as expected. The bank thinks at this point, inflation will come down to about 3% by the middle of the year, Erica.
Finally, just how chaotic are things at Twitter headquarters these days? This next story pretty much says it all, Richard.
That's another wild story out of Twitter. That one of their employees, Erica, went to log on to do some work over the weekend, and he was locked out of his computer, and he couldn't find out from Twitter for days whether or not he had actually been fired. This particular employee also suffering from muscular dystrophy. That's a key point in the story here, because he actually tweeted Elon Musk and said, hey, am I fired? And Musk actually questioned his work ethic and questioned his disability in a series of replies. Musk wrote, quote, the reality is this guy did no actual work and claimed as his excuse that he had a disability. Well, Musk quickly walking that back, apologizing to the employee, calling it a misunderstanding and offering him his job back. Just another PR disaster, Erica, over at Twitter with Elon Musk.